I know how I recently explained to you how I just rediscovered my passion for watching terrible movies. So Tubi is obviously a platform that has those movies, and I stumbled across the movie Sloppy Seconds, which was a recommendation from other people. And boy, do I not regret watching this movie, because it was a true cinematic masterpiece of a disaster. I mean, this movie was really bad. It really does borderline on the whole thought of it's so terrible that it's actually good. Like, I really can't figure that out, because the acting in it was so poor that sometimes I was like, I think this is actually convincing. Like, the guy who's technically the bad guy in this movie, this guy named Rico, like, he pretty much is a YN through and through, a true Pookie. This dude is an absolute menace the whole movie. I mean, he has got the same energy and it doesn't stop. He is angry the whole film until the last scene. I mean, this dude is literally pissed off at all moments. He'll calm down for half a second. I mean, he definitely plays the role of a psychopath very well, to the point that, like, he might actually be good at it, but I'm like, there's no way. When I watch him, I was like, I have a hard time believing that this guy's going to be able to play more convincing roles. But I don't want to hate on it too much, because I mean, they obviously put a lot of time in this movie, because it actually looked pretty decent. It wasn't like badly shot or whatnot, and the sound in the movie was actually pretty good. So there was some good aspects to this Sloppy Seconds movie. So I can't completely hate on it, because you know, some Tubi products out there have some really shoddy things. Now, I will say, like, obviously, like, the cinematics, or not really cinematics, but say like gunshots or something like that don't look good. But I'll get to that later. But let's just go ahead and start from the beginning, man. I said that twice. But the main character's name is Keisha. Man, that's making a lot of noise back there. But the main character's name is Keisha, and her best friend, his name is Kim. And obviously, she's like the head of this like law firm. So she's supposed to be very intelligent, right? Well, for whatever reason, her dumb ass cannot help but just want to find some Pookie out there to date. I guess they're out there in Atlanta, and she just had to find somebody to date because she was struggling out there. She's a little bit thicker in the game. But a year earlier, she ran into this dude named Rico at the club. And what kills me about this scene at the club a year before is the fact that this dude didn't actually hit on this chick. He just like slapped her on the ass and was like, hey, I like how thick you are. I mean, this dude was pretty much in his red pill rage form the whole film. From the start, he used red pill rage to hit on this chick and actually succeeded. It's like if Myron was actually angry and you're just screaming at the women, like, you know, he goes on his long tirades and stuff like that led to him spiking the mug, and actually pulled a chick doing that. Like, he actually did that, and she said, I'm wet now. I mean, just oozing between the legs somehow, and that's what she did. Somehow she found that man like appealing. When her friend was like, you need to go find somebody else that's better than that. And she said, this man ain't that bad. Which means, you know, her standards were low. The writing in this movie is questionable to the point, because like, apparently Tubi movies is nothing but just prawn. I mean, apparently it's a ton of people just banging. I've seen a lot of titties on Tubi that I was not expecting, and more unexpected almost man meat that, I'm telling you, my eyes was not expecting these things. I was just like, whoa, did they get paid for just showing their meat like this? How much did they make? I mean, listen, I've applied for some of these roles, and I'm telling you, they don't be offering you enough money for me to just show my schlong. I mean, not for Tubi. That ain't enough. I mean, $250 for a couple of days sometimes ain't enough money. And I think this one, they probably made a decent penny, because it does have decent production value. So probably maybe 800. But after that scene, obviously, that was like a year before, and time passes by, and then she's off in the future. She's dating Rico now. She's been with this man. And I mean, he has been just as bad the whole time. I mean, I know she's been scared for her life also, on top of the fact that, so flash forward to the future, she didn't actually, like, you know, engage with Rico at that time, but she does eventually start dating Rico a year later, after she's, you know, at the top of her firm, doing real big things in her career and whatnot. But for whatever reason, she's got Pookie on her side. And obviously everybody in her life is saying, this guy ain't shit. This is a bad person. You need to dump this man. He's trash. Because they just basically, after they started dating, went on this montage where she was spending all of her money for this man to get absolutely everything he wanted. PlayStations, jewelry, chains, probably a grill, more clothes, and Jordans, and anything that he wanted, he got. Credit card balance just completely out the wazoo. She's spinning out of her mind. I mean, and she's just happy. She's just as happy as could be, because somebody, for whatever reason, found her appealing. Like, women, please don't ever get like this desperate. And if you know somebody that's this desperate, please stop them, because it is a psychosis that you got to get your mind out of. That's why I'm starting to think like part of this movie is borderline genius, because there are people out there that are like this, that suffer from this kind of psychosis where you're so you have this dysmorphia in your mind about yourself, that you hate yourself to a point where you think your standards should be so low. Like, come on, self-esteem, let's raise it. Keisha didn't have it. So time progresses. I want to go ahead and move on to this barbershop scene, because this thing was over the top. So the man goes in, like Keisha and Rico go into the barbershop. I guess he wants to get him a cut. The barber is over here lining up this dude who's got a full set of like full-blown Kawhi Leonard, cornrows, and I'm still waiting for him to edge this man up. He's just like eyeing him up, like he never cuts this man's hair. Well, Rico gets upset, like this man's so angry. He's just over here like, man, what's up, dog? I mean, just coming into the barbershop with all this energy, and his homie's like, man, what's up with you? Like, why are you coming at me with all this hostility? He's like, nothing, man. I just, it's been a long day and shit. And well, he was getting impatient because he was gonna have to wait for this edge up, because he can't wait for anything. Impatient MRF there can be. So him and Keisha go back out to the car, slaps the piss out of Keisha for no reason, because he, for whatever reason, thought while they were in there, she was looking at the barber. She, I guess, had no clue what was going on, and he just smacked her, throws her into the backseat of the car, gets back there, yells at her, and then she admits that she's a virgin. Then he takes her V card, says that he loves her more than ever now because she just admitted that she was a virgin. I mean, and then just took her V card and then slapped her around pretty much again and said, sit your ass back in this car. Don't you get back. Hey, don't get out. That's what you get for staring at that dude inside. Like, he was still mad about that. Like, he was angry right after clapping these cheeks. Like, this dude could not calm down. Like, this man needed some heels. So flash forward, she's talking to her friend Kim, and Kim is like, you're still trying to talk to this dude? This dude is a disaster. Like, why are you doing this? First of all, your attendance at work seems to be a little shoddy. Seems like you're throwing your career away for the wrong guy. It seems like, why would you do this for this kind of person who doesn't value you enough? I'm telling you, this is bad news. She wasn't listening. Flash forward again. So they decide it's time to go meet the parents, right? So obviously you got to go take Rico to eventually see your parents. And obviously, since she's at the head of this law firm, apparently she came from a very wealthy family. Her mom and dad are doing really good. They're having basically this cocktail party, and they decide that they're going to bring Alonzo from Training Day over here to just show up angry and pissed off. And it's like, I don't know if this is the right setting for this individual. He doesn't seem to be dressed appropriately. He's already carrying himself with all his YN energy. Comes in immediately throwing insults at the dad, talks mad shit to the mother, gets thrown out. Security is there. That's how much money they have. They actually have security at this house. I'm like, damn, they yoke like that. And this man drops to one of the most corniest lines I've ever seen. And it was simply saying, hey, sometimes you gotta lock up them animals. My coffee is done. You gotta lock up those caged animals, because sometimes they get loose on the street. Something corny like that. And it's like, dude, I mean, this movie was absurd. I mean, they doing all this over the top action trying to get this man out of this party. Well, she's like, oh no, he's going to jail. She can't let him go to jail because she knows that if he gets out, he's going to beat the shit out of her. And dude, it doesn't matter, man. Like, he's angry already for the fact that he's already on his way. He went in, he was talking crazy to all the cops, the guards, her when she went there to try to take him out. Then when she gets him out, then he says thank you, slaps the piss out of her again. I mean, dude, and then he just immediately gets violent. I mean, it's crazy. Okay, so I almost completely forgot. Before he gets thrown in jail, the dad is over here screaming at Keisha, saying, I will disown you if you do not break up with this man, because she's over here like, I gotta get him up out of jail, because I did say that before. The mom is over here saying, get that trash up out of here, get your ass back in the house and stay here where you belong. And she just wouldn't listen, because I completely forgot she was dressed like a complete hoochie mama at this cocktail party. Like, I mean, they just did not fit the aesthetic. It was a disaster as soon as they pulled up. And then the first thing that happens, as soon as she bails him up out of jail, he says, this fat bitch's luck is up. I'm like, dude, I mean, you're not thankful at all that this chick just bailed you out of jail. I mean, I get trying to make this guy being a very bad person. But is there another purpose? This guy has no layers other than he is just a bad guy. First of all, she works at a law firm. She's supposed to be intelligent, is she not? Her discernment can't be this bad. I mean, that's the part of this writing that is just ridiculous. You're trying to tell me this chick who's got all this money, making, you know, with this great job, with all this education, is dating this absolute YN loser who is only bound to destroy everything in her life. Good Lord, I can't talk tonight. But he is on a direct path to destroy everything that she has. So after she's done picked him up from jail, she's gonna take him to his next destination. His next destination is to a stripper's house that she had met before at the strip club with him. And then he proceeds to start trying to smash that woman right in front of her. And then she gets upset, of course. And then what proceeds is some of the worst dialogue and like execution of lines that you can possibly ever see on, well, no, I've seen worse on Tubi. You know what, I'm not gonna go that far. It's not good though, it's ugly. Anyway, she gets so desperate to keep her man, she decides that she is going to sleep with both the woman and Rico. I mean, it's this movie's just out of pocket. And I don't understand what it is with these directors in these films and just always having these orgies take place. But like, what is their infatuation? What these people really just want to direct prawn. So after Keisha flushes all her dignity down the drain, she proceeds to go back home and try to beg for a place to stay, because I guess she didn't have a place to stay anymore. I guess because she was living with Rico somehow, who had no job and nothing else. So like, what happened? That's the part that was really confusing to me. Like, that's a big plot hole there. Like, well, why is she begging to go back home to live? Did she not have her own place? I know he spent most of her money, but damn. Well, anyway, he said, you can't stay here. I really am pissed off that you decided you're going to choose Rico over this family. Like, what's wrong with you, woman? Like, so he said goodbye. You know, you can go ahead and talk to Sandy, who was the housemaid. I forgot to mention that they did have a housemaid there as well. Another black woman that was in the establishment, because that's how much money they have. So she packed her bags, and then she decided that she was going to have her little pep talk with Keisha before she was like, you know, you got to hit the road. Just saying, are you sure you really want to go out like this? And Keisha's like, oh my God, I love him. And it's like, you just met this guy. How do you love Rico like this? There's no way you're this stupid. And she is. She really is that stupid. So then she proceeds to go back to work, where you do find out that she has been missing more and more days, bad attendance, where then eventually she is propositioned by her boss. Instead of being terminated from her job, she is now going to be the company whore. Literally, he was deciding to pimp her out to him and his wife. Now, Keisha did not want to do this, but the boss was pretty much demanding that this happen. He was like, if you're not between my wife's legs in the next 30 seconds, then you will not have a job anymore. And then, of course, if you paid attention to the title of the movie, Sloppy Seconds, you knew what was about to proceed. Because his wife apparently also had a fetish for wanting to sleep with a black woman. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention these people were white now. Everybody else has been black. Flash forward again, which is a common theme in this movie. Come to find out that Keisha and Rico have had a place together. So they are staying together, and come to find out that Rico has not been paying the bills, and they are way behind. So Rico decides that he's gonna give her a surprise, and you can only guess what the surprise was. It was some surprise D. So he decides he's gonna go dematize Keisha again and have her so whipped that she decides, like, oh my God, so googly eyed to the point where she's like, I need you to go meet my parents again. So he decides, okay, let's go do that. Then he proceeds to go to this anniversary party with her to go meet her parents, and he crashes out once again. Starts calling them all sorts of bitch asses and all sorts of bad names. I mean, dude, it is wild how many times this man crashed out. Earlier in this movie, like before he started crashing out for like the fifth and sixth time in this movie, he said he was gonna be on Demon Time. And it's like, dude, you've been on Demon Time since you showed up on screen. I mean, the entire movie he's been like this, a true menace. Then they end up having to leave that party before security threw him up out of that one. Then he ended up in jail. Then he goes back home, finds his boy who was at the barbershop and one other guy who was there, and then they're low on money, so he decides he's going to sell Keisha off basically to them to just clap her cheeks so they can make some extra coin. Then after that happens, Rico goes out there and smokes a blunt with the guy who was at the barbershop. Keisha sneaks in, or not sneaks in, but she accidentally walks in while this other guy who was just clapping her cheeks, and there's another orgy that she was in while he was peeing. I mean, this movie is absolutely ridiculous. I'm telling you, it was so stupid. And then they had this intimate conversation where he's like, hey man, you know, Rico, he's like treating you wrong. And it's like, dude, where did Captain Save-A-Ho come from? Like, homie, you just really just got away with doing this vile stuff over here, and you're over here trying to like really say, oh yeah, you know what, I'm the man for you. Dude, you talking about sloppy seconds. This man is absolutely disgusting. Filthy work, I mean, at its finest. I mean, come on, man. You cannot just get done doing what you're doing. You paid for these cheeks, and now you're immediately like, hey, you can come be with me. I'm the man for you. Like, you. And Keisha's over here like, all smitten. This dumb chick with all this money and education really cannot figure this stuff out. If you know somebody like this, please drop a 1 or something in the comments. I need to know how many of y'all know somebody this stupid. Now, I forgot to mention, before they even went back to the house so these dudes can get paid to clap her, or they could pay to clap her cheeks, he started slapping Keisha around again, which, I mean, is something he's just been doing this whole movie. And so after homie, which the whole bathroom incident that she had, she ended up smashing dude again. And then he decides he's going to tell this cover story to Rico when he came back in with this death stare on his face, like, oh, I know something's been going on in here. I smell something's up. And so he leaves, and he thought everything was cool. He immediately just chokes Keisha all the way back to the bedroom and then just slays her again. This woman has had a lot of pipe laid to her in a very short period of time. Like, I don't know if her vagina is okay or if it'll ever recover from this experience. Like, this is very traumatic that they don't display on film. Like, this is horrible. I mean, this is horrible what is happening to Keisha. And it's just played off in, unfortunately, a very comedically bad way. I mean, this is a traumatic story. Keisha has been R-worded a lot in this movie, and they just, dude, it's sick. The people who made this movie need to be investigated. Now, this movie is about to completely unravel and get extremely unhinged. As remember when I said that, you know, Rico decided to choke Keisha all the way back to the bedroom? Well, he proceeded to tie her up to the bed and have a dog lick her coochie, and posted this video on social media where she got exposed to her bosses, where she got fired by the people who turned her into a sex slave. That is the most messed up part that happened next. Then it proceeds to go on to a scene with her dad, just for whatever reason getting some type of massage in his office at home by an office assistant who clearly he and her have been smashing. Like, you pick up on this energy very quickly. They just waste some time with some dialogue, and then he goes back home, finds out that the boss who just fired his daughter, the boss who just fired his daughter that had turned her into a sex slave, was smashing his wife in his bed at home. He gets upset. The boss pulls out a gun, threatens their lives. The dad gets mad and is like, hey man, you better get the F up out of my house and take this chick with you. She gets 10 minutes to pack her bags. Then you find out that the dad is banging not only the assistant, but Keisha's best friend Kim, who's been trying to give her the good advice from the onset of this movie. It's ridiculous. And then Kim says that her and her dad, Keisha's dad, are in love. I mean, it's just, oh my god, this movie is so unhinged. So many sloppy seconds. Bear with me, because this is going to get really confusing, because it's still confusing to me. So the dad gets into Keisha's face, and then he propositions her with the idea of letting him get her cheeks for her to stay quiet and go back to like her bedroom, because apparently he's been touching her since she was a little girl. So dad is revealed to be a Geppetto. Then the housemaid who was there find out that he was also Geppettoing with her when she was like 14 years old. Come to find out that the mom who had been around earlier, who was getting smashed by the boss, who was turning her daughter supposedly into a sex slave, isn't her real mom. Sandy, who is she is the housemaid, is actually her mother. And it's so ridiculous. There's so many different plot twists. The dad pulls out a gat from the drawer, shoots the maid Sandy, kills her, and then I think the daughter ends up getting the gun from the dad, kills the dad, then proceeds to go back home to the apartment, finds Rico, shoots him in the back of the head, kills him, and he just slumps over in the most pathetic, ridiculously terrible way to die. And this is why I said his acting at the end of the day was terrible, because you just don't die like that. That was so unconvincing. It was so bad. Oh, it was Tubi. It was really Tubi. And then, unfortunately, this movie just ends on a terrible note, and Keisha just deletes herself. And that was it. Finn. Credits. movie had more twists than any 6 Tyler Perry movies put together, and you know how many twists are in a Tyler Perry movie. This was outrageous. Watch it.
Where the fuck your ass been? Bitch, you hear me talking to you?